jaws open up, and right as you see its jaws going over that, rotten side of pork, that hog, those teeth are going to incise in, and it's going to jerk a big old chunk of meat off. It's not rocket science. I just want to get this across to people. And we've got the worst case and the most scientific, sickening, gibbering, bloodthirsty case of tyranny I've ever studied. And we're not studying something now in history books. It's on us right now. We're under attack. And it's 2010 that people really started to get it. And again, I'm not bragging when I talk about my personal experiences. It's the best gauge I've got. I can fly into any city in the Western world. I can go into Latin America. I can go to Europe. I can fly into Los Angeles, New York City, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I can go anywhere. And it's not every 20 people that stop and shake my hand now. It's 30, 40%. It's gotten to the point, if I go see a movie, I can hardly go to the bathroom and come back without being stopped a dozen times. Now, the New World Order knows that. They're tracking everything. They're spying on everybody. They know liberty is incredibly popular. And the last domino to fall, the people are awake now to a great extent. There's still hordes that are zombies, and you're not going to be able to help them. They don't count, unfortunately. I wish they did, but they're not in the equation. They're spectators being run over. But in 2010, the trance was broken. The people realized that they were under attack. But now they're just discovering just how serious that attack is. And the last domino to fall, and it's beginning to tip. And if we just all put our effort into it in little ways, with even little steps every day, many hands make light work, that domino is going down. Now, the globalists are going to try to start World War III and set off nukes. They're capable of anything, and I see in my mind's eye mega terror if we don't expose them and talk about it. Then we take that tool away. But there's no doubt they've got really bad stuff locked, cocked, ready to go. But the last domino to fall, this is so important, is that most people who are awake still think they are the minority. And that's the last domino. I'd have to say 60%. The polls show this. Congress has a 13 to 9% approval, depending on which major scientific poll you look at. 9 to 13. What's the difference? Lowest in history, still plunging. Obama, lowest in history, plunging. People, the Republicans made compromises with the Democrats because they're bought and paid for by the same interest. Now conservatives are going completely ape. There's no honeymoon with that scum. It's very exciting. But still, 60% or more are awake now, but it's like you wake up in the dark of the night and you kind of forget where you're at or what room. You ever wake up in a hotel when you're out of town and you kind of wake up thinking you're in your own home? You go, oh, that's right, I'm in Galveston, Texas. Oh, I'm in Los Angeles. Ooh, I'm in New York. I'm in D.C. Ooh, I'm in Toronto. I'm in London. So people have woken up, but they're in the dark now. They're awake. We that are more informed at a higher level have got to bring them up to the next level. Now that they're awake in the dark, we got to strike a match and go, it's global tyranny. It's happened in history. It's happening again. Here's what's happening. Here's who they are. Here's a film. Here's a link to a radio show. Here's a book. Here's some information. And again, it's a process. They won't immediately go out and kick the New World Order's hind end, but they will start growing, and then as the oppression gets worse, they'll now see it all as confirmation of what you told them. I can feel the energy of humanity shifting. I can feel the destiny of liberty rising, the spirit of 1776 as we go into 2011. God is on our side.
Did you know that you can be tracked and traced when you're online? With identity theft and cybercrimes on the rise, your passwords, your identity, and even your physical location can be revealed to complete strangers. Would you like to surf the internet anonymously and not have to worry about these threats? Well, now you can by visiting patriotinternet.com. For about $2 per month, patriotinternet.com will conceal your IP address and your physical location, allowing you to browse the web, send emails, and instant message anonymously. patriotinternet.com will bypass filters, block sites, and keyword blocking. You can also bypass logging by your router and your ISP. With patriotinternet.com, there is no software to install and uses 128-bit encryption for your protection. When using wireless hotspots, patriotinternet.com shields your information from identity thieves and is compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. Protect your identity and your freedom with anonymous internet access from patriotinternet.com. Visit patriotinternet.com today.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
Again, the Congressional Budget Office sounds the alarm. This time warns of Greek-style U.S. debt crises. You heard me right. The GAO is drawing a parallel between the U.S. economy, its debt, and the current Greek economic meltdown. With the debt-to-GDP chart climbing into unfamiliar territory, the growing budget deficit will rise to unsupportable levels. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. The Federal Debt and Risk of Financial Crises document the CBO has published is a must-read for every American, covering the risk of continued deficit spending coupled with an aging population and the rising interest rates spell economic disaster. It's imperative that you get a copy of this document and study it for yourself. Call me today at 800-686-2237 and I'll send you a free copy. Again, call 800-686-2237 and ask for your copy of the CBO document. Once again, you need to read this government report. Call 800-686-2237.
Pure water. What could be better than the gift of health for your loved ones? And who better to help you give the gift this holiday season than BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com? If those on your gift list are drinking or bathing in unfiltered city or well water, chances are that water is contaminated with rust, bacteria, chlorine, and fluoride. For just pennies a day, Berkey Water Filters remove dangerous contaminants from both well and city water, is powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, and is great for camping and emergencies. Right now, GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems and free shipping on orders over $50. Purchase any filter system from BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com to get your choice of Berkey Sport bottles, a KDF shower filter, a set of fluoride filters, or the new Sight Glass spigot, absolutely free. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY today. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Give the gift of health at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com today.
They're now announcing that nationwide, it won't just be no refusal weekends, but they're going to be drawing blood nationwide under federal grants 24/7, 365 days a year. Hey, you notice what happens over and over again with all of this. It starts out with a few body scanners, and then, oh, scanners are going in everywhere, and then, oh, we're going to pat you down on top of the scanners. See, They always use psychology. The New World Order is run by psychologists and psychiatrists, anthropologists, sociologists. I mean, they admit that. It's all about the studying of their prey. The ruling class sees us as animals. And so it's all about the rollout. And it's also about the federalization of police following all these different federal orders. No refusal weekend program to exist year-round. Drivers who refuse breath tests will have blood drawn without warrants. Just 2.5 years ago in Texas and Florida, we've got a rubber stamp warrant. Courts said, well, that isn't a real warrant. And they just said, you know what? We don't need no stinking warrants. We don't need no stinking badges. Some of the big developments, I'm going to come back from break, start going to your phone calls. Obama's people announced earlier this week that they are indeed going to have the EPA start in the locales with grants, with the home inspections and the harassment of the farms and ranches. And it's all in the news today. They're going to go ahead with the global carbon taxes. California went ahead and put that into place. They're now going to phase in a 20% tax, basically on all human activity. Of course, China, India, Mexico, they have to make zero cuts. You thought your jobs left the country already? Whatever's left is going to go real fast because it's designed to deindustrialize us. And that's not my opinion. That's on record. Post-industrial society. Maurice Strong, UN, David Rockefeller, the head climatologist at NASA. I mean, this is their policy. The head of the transportation department in 2010, back in January, told the Wall Street Journal, said, absolutely, we're anti-car. We do want you out of your cars. They build the society on cars with sprawling, separated cities and urban centers. Then they start squeezing. We told you a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or I guess more than that, a few months ago with Lindsey Williams. He said that 3 months ago first, that it was going to be going up to $150 a barrel. Now the head of Dutch Roll Shell says, that's right, $150, $200 a barrel in the next year, $5 a gallon gas. But it's all part of the lawlessness. See, they're lawless. That's the Overton window. People send me emails and say, why did Glenn Beck call his book The Overton Window? Well, that's a psychological perspective. In fact, just print me the Wikipedia example of that. I should read the technical term for it. But the Overton window deals with a political window. And you've got in the false left-right paradigm, the left and the right. And if you want to really condition people to accept what you want them to do, even though it's radical, you ask for 1,000,000 miles on the left, just super extreme, knowing that they're going to struggle and fight you, but then think that they've had a victory when they only push you back 500,000 miles. So it's the old, they take 2 steps, and then you fight and only push them a foot back. And then they take 10 steps, and you push them 7 feet back, but still they've now gained 4 feet. Then they push it 100 feet. You push them back 80 feet. But now they've got, see, this is how they do it. I mean, it's bold and wild in just the space of 3 months to go from we're going to squeeze your genitals through your pants to we're going to go in your pants. See, they don't care now if you know they take your baby's blood secretly at birth and that they lied about it for decades. Because they're moving against you. They want to be so radical and so extreme that you just go into a catatonic state. The Overton window is a political theory described as a window in the range of public reactions to ideas in public discourse and a spectrum of all possible opinions on a particular issue. It is named after its originator, Joseph P. Overton, former vice president of the Mechanics Center for Public Policy. At any given moment, the window includes a range of policies considered to be politically acceptable in the current climate of public opinion, which a politician can recommend without being considered too extreme or outside the mainstream to keep or gain public office. Overton arranged the spectrum on a virtual axis of more free or less free in regards of government intervention. When the window moves or expands, ideas can accordingly become more or less politically acceptable. The degree of acceptance of public ideas can be described roughly as unthinkable, radical, acceptable, sensible, popular policy. And so they say, yeah, we're putting fluoride in your water. Next is lithium. And you know what? We are doing it to hurt you. It's good. Humans are bad. And we've been conditioned. It's like, okay, kill me. You're good.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
very wealthy U.S. citizen, is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family.